by my thoughts. I am affected only 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 by my thoughts. Well, I'm forgiveness teacher Miracle Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for lesson 338 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. I am affected by all the things going on around me. No, I'm not. I'm affected only by the way I perceive everything going on around me and in me. I'm affected by the mechanism of thought, by the mechanism of decision. I am affected only by my thoughts. This is Monday, December the 4th of 2023. I'm affected only by my thoughts. It needs but this to let salvation come to all the world. Instead of blaming everything around you, look inside. Change your mind. If you don't like the way the world's looking, change your mind, and the whole world will change. I need but this to let salvation come to all the world. For in this single thought, I am affected only by my thoughts. For in this single thought is everyone released at last from fear. Now he has learned that no one frightens him, and nothing can endanger him. He has no enemies, and he is safe from all external things. His thoughts can frighten him, but since these thoughts belong to him alone, he has the power to change them and exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love. Wow. Change each fear thought to a happy thought of love. He crucified himself, yet God has planned that his beloved Son will be redeemed. Your plan is sure, my Father, only yours. All other plans will fail. And I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that you have given me the only thought which leads me to salvation. And I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that you have given me the only thought which leads me to salvation. That's why we want to be really quick and good at asking the Holy Spirit for help to get the new thought, to free us from those thoughts that frighten us. His thoughts can frighten him, but since these thoughts belong to him alone, he has the power to change them and to exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love. And I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that you have given me the only thought which leads me to happiness or to salvation, to love, to innocence, to your identity, to your place, your standing as a child of God. You know, you've been given all the treasures like a wealthy uncle that died and left you all the inheritance, but you didn't know him and didn't know where he left it and didn't even know that he left it to you. It's all yours. Millions of dollars, think of it that way. But it's not accessible because you don't know that it's there. Well, that's how God's love is. That's how you're afraid of nothing, but you think it's something. And it's not until you realize that you have everything and that all you need to do is ask God for his way of seeing. Let go and let God. And that prayer again, which we didn't finish yet. Your plan is sure, my Father, only yours. All other plans will fail. And I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that you have given me the only thought which leads me to salvation. Mine alone will fail and lead me nowhere. Make your thoughts alone are what's frightening you. But your thoughts with the Holy Spirit are what will free you and see the happy thought of love. Mine alone will fail and lead me nowhere, but the thought you gave me promises to lead me home, because it holds your promise to your Son. And back a couple pages, what is the ego? Our associated reading. The ego is idolatry, the sign of limited and separated self. Born in a body, doomed to suffer and end its life in death. It is the will that sees the will of God as enemy and takes a form in which it is denied. The ego is the, in quotes, proof, because it's not proof, that strength is weak and love is fearful, life is really death, and what opposes God alone is true. But those are insane thoughts. Next paragraph starts off, the ego is insane. In fear it stands beyond the everywhere, apart from all, in separation from the infinite. In its insanity it thinks it has become a victor over God himself. And in its terrible autonomy it sees the will of God has been destroyed. It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams, its enemies who seek to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. The Son of God is ego-less. What can he know of madness and the death of God when he abides in him? What can he know of sorrow and of suffering when he lives in eternal joy? What can he know of fear and punishment, of sin and guilt, of hatred and attack, when all there is surrounding him is everlasting peace, forever conflict-free and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility? To know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws, and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. In suffering, the price for faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the Son of God is offered daily at its darkened shrine, and blood must flow before the altar where its sickly followers prepare to die. Yet will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light, the altar to illusions, to the shrine of life itself. And peace will be restored forever to the holy minds which God created as his Son, his dwelling place, his joy, his love, completely his, completely one with him. Okay, and if you're one of those people that really excels in memorizing, memorize these associated readings, this one being what is the ego. I'm not telling you that you have to do that, but that would be a good place to put your memory work if you like to do that and if you're really good at it. Okay, let's see. Let's go take a look now in our where we finished Manual for Teachers. Psychotherapy, Purpose, Process, and Practice. And we're ready for Section 2, the process of psychotherapy. And we'll read the introduction. While you're turning there, holidays, holy days, and observances around the world. Cabernet Franc Day, which is basically a real dark, blackish red, it's a red grape wine, Vitis vinifera, more of an herbal flavor. Anyway, Cabernet Franc Day. Or Extraordinary Work Team Recognition Day. Well, let's be a team to work at saving the world, at seeing the world come to the knowledge that they're only a thought away from God, and that they need to turn to him for their help to see the world as innocent and pure and live in their everlasting happiness on planet Earth. You don't have to die to feel that great joy that so many near-death experience people come back and tell us about. Let's access it today. Let's have an extraordinary Work Team Recognition Day, recognizing that we're all part of the kingdom of heaven, or the family of God, or the nation of love. Lots of different names for this that everybody's part of, but not everybody's aware of it, just like that rich uncle. They left you all that inheritance, but you didn't know it. Well, we're getting ready to learn it. We're going to spread the word as we integrate it and live it and stay in contact with the answer. We inspire everyone around us to do the same. International Cheetah Day. And the cheetah is let's see if I can pronounce this. It is a Achinonyx Acinoinix is the genera, and it's ubatus is the species of the cheetah. Acinoinix ubatus. And do you know those things can reach 75 miles an hour in a run? And they can sustain a run for, from what I understand, for many, many miles at 60 miles an hour. So quite a fastest animal known on Earth. National Cookie Day for all you cookie monsters. National Dice Day. Found, and I'd encourage you, if you're making cookies, add a little stevia instead of just all sugar to reduce the caloric intake, and not get that sugar high and have that fall, sugar high and then drop off. And add a little stevia. And if you'll add some sugar to your stevia, sort of use them in combination, it doesn't have that stevia flavor as much. That kind of an aftertaste that's not as agreeable to a lot of people. National Dice Day. They found dice in Iran and Turkey archaeological digs that dated back to almost 3,000 years ago. Or not 3,000 years ago, 3,000 years, 2,800 BCE, before Common Era, or before Christ. National Sock Day. My kids, my children's mom used to say that the sock monster got the other sock. Whenever you'd lose a sock, and the sock monster. Santa's List Day, getting ready for Christmas, huh? Walt Disney Day. He was born 1901, died 1966. Wear Brown Shoes Day, and World Wildlife Conservation Day. I found that poaching could make animals like elephants, rhinos, tigers, sea turtles, lemurs, and gorillas extinct. So pass the word. Let's don't let them go extinct. Okay, and then I want to tell you about another rhubarb, the rhubarbarum, and this is the Glaskin's Perpetual rhubarb out of Gurney's, and it says pleasingly tart with no acid tang. Glaskin's Perpetual is a reliable rhubarb and cooks up nicely and never gets bitter. Perfect for late season harvesting due to its low concentration of oxalic acid. Enjoy the fruits of your labor well into the summer or winter, depending on when you plant. Self-pollinating, zones 3 through 8. And it looks like Gurney sells those as a bare root. So get you some bare roots. Price they have this year is $12.99, $13. Price some shipping on there too. Okay, let's see what else. Rhubarb's main health benefits are its ability to promote detoxification. That's what I was thinking. And its power of astringent. And that's according to, is that Chatelane.com. And then I found also a thing called the rhubarb syrup in the Endless Meal /rhubarb syrup. The Endless Meal, I think it was .com. Anyway, this is by Kristen Stevens. And this rhubarb syrup, we just had 3 ingredients: rhubarb, water, and sweeteners, sugar, and make a syrup. Can it up and have syrup all year long, even though the rhubarb may not you'd only have it for seasons. Okay, and a word for peace in Lakota. The Lakota Sioux is wawaha. Wawaha. We'll try to get that down. I hope I'm saying it properly for you Lakota Sioux that know how to say it. If not, and you all send me in the phonetic pronunciation of different languages that you know the word of peace in. Email them to me. My email's in the description below. And if I say one incorrectly, send me the phonetic pronunciation of it so I can get it right. I'm looking for the for that Congo language, I forget the name of it now, but the word was bipoli, B-U-P-O-L-E, but I didn't say it because I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. Is it bipoli or bipole or bupole, or, I wasn't sure. I forget the name of the language even now. Okay, the process of psychotherapy, introduction, and be sure to take with you today this power that you have. I am affected only by my thoughts. Psychotherapy is a process that changes the view of the self, and this is in the process of psychotherapy, introduction. Psychotherapy is a process that changes the view of the self. At best, this new self is a more beneficent self-concept, but psychotherapy can hardly be expected to establish reality. That is not its function. If it can make way for reality, it has achieved its ultimate success. Its whole function in the end is to help the patient deal with one fundamental error, the belief that anger brings him something he really wants, and that by justifying attack, he is protecting himself. Oh, we have really got it backwards in this world, don't we? Thinking that we can have wars and think that that's going to protect us, and that we have some innate right to defend ourselves against outrageous grievances against us? No. We're the creator of everything that happens to us, or should I say the maker, because it's just a dream. It's not a reality. Creation will reserve for reality. But we make a world that is exactly what we beckon the world forth by our thoughts, our prayers, our internal thinking. So its whole function in the end this is psychotherapy's whole function in the end, its ultimate success. Its whole function in the end is to help the patient deal with one fundamental error, the belief that anger brings him something he really wants, and that by justifying attack, he is protecting himself. To whatever extent he comes to realize that this is an error, to that extent is he truly saved. 2. Patients do not enter the therapeutic relationship with this goal in mind. On the contrary, such concepts mean little to them, or they would not need help. You wouldn't even need help if you didn't think that. Their aim is to be able to retain their self-concept exactly as it is, but without the suffering that it entails. You don't want to change yourself, but you don't want the suffering that you're perceiving yourself as having. Their whole equilibrium rests on the insane belief that this is possible. And because to the sane mind it is so clearly impossible, what they seek is magic. In illusions, the impossible is easily accomplished, but only at the cost of making illusions true. The patient has already paid this price. Now he wants a better, in quotes, better illusion. 3. At the beginning, then, the patient's goal and the therapist's are at variance. The therapist, as well as the patient, may cherish false concepts, but their respective perceptions of improvement still must differ. The patient hopes to learn how to get the changes he wants without changing his self-concept to any significant extent. He hopes, in fact, to stabilize it sufficiently to include within it the magical powers he seeks in psychotherapy. He wants to make the vulnerable invulnerable and the finite limitless. The self he sees is his God, and he seeks only to serve it better. Regardless of how sincere the therapist himself may be, he must want to change the patient's self-concept in some way that he believes is real. The task of therapy is one of reconciling these differences. Hopefully both will learn to give up their original goals, for it is only in relationships that salvation can be found. At the beginning, it is inevitable that patients and therapists alike accept unrealistic goals not completely free of magical overtones. They are finally given up in the minds of both. And the next section, number 1, the limits on psychotherapy. Yet the ideal outcome is rarely achieved. Therapy begins with the realization that healing is of the mind, And in psychotherapy, those have come together who already believe this. It may be they will not get much farther, for no one learns beyond his own readiness. Yet levels of readiness change, and when therapist or patient has reached the next one, there will be a relationship held out to them that meets the changing need. Perhaps they will come together again and advance in the same relationship, making it holier. Or perhaps each of them will enter into another commitment. Be assured of this: each will progress. Retrogression is temporary. The overall direction is one of progress toward truth. Be assured that you're always moving towards truth. 2. Retrogression is temporary. 2. Psychotherapy itself cannot be creative. This is one of the errors which the ego fosters, that it is capable of true change and therefore of true creativity. When we speak of the saving illusions or the final dream, which were both in quotes, this is not what we mean. But here is the ego's last defense. In quotes, resistance is its way of looking at things, its interpretation of progress and growth. These interpretations will be wrong of necessity because they are delusional. The changes the ego seeks to make are not really changes. They are but deeper shadows and perhaps different cloud patterns. Yet what is made of nothingness cannot be called new or different. Illusions are illusions. Truth is truth. 3. Resistance as defined here can be characteristic of a therapist as well as of a patient. Either way, it sets a limit on psychotherapy because it restricts its aim. Nor can the Holy Spirit fight against the intrusions of the ego on the therapeutic process. But He will wait, and His patience is infinite. The Holy Spirit's patience is infinite. His goal is wholly undivided always. Whatever resolution patient and therapist reach in connection with their own divergent goals, they cannot become completely reconciled as one until they join with His, the Holy Spirit's. Only then is all conflict over, for only then can there be certainty. And last paragraph 4. Ideally, psychotherapy is a series of holy encounters in which brothers meet to bless each other and to receive the peace of God. And that's what we want. We want the ideal. And let's don't settle for anything less than the ideal. Ideally, psychotherapy is a series of holy encounters in which brothers meet to bless each other and to receive the peace of God. And this will one day come to pass for every, in quotes, patient on the face of this earth. For who except a patient could possibly have come here? We all need help on this planet. The therapist is only a somewhat more specialized teacher of God. He learns through teaching. And the more advanced he is, the more he teaches and the more he learns. But whatever stage he is in, there are patients who need him just that way. They cannot take more than he can give for now, yet both will find sanity at last. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, well, let's go look at our text reading again. Or not text reading, our lesson for the day. I am affected only by my thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. It needs but this to let salvation come to all the world. For in this single thought is every one released at last from fear. Now he has learned that no one frightens him and nothing can endanger him. He has no enemies and he is safe from all external things. His thoughts can frighten him, but since these thoughts belong to him alone, he has the power to change them and exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love. He crucified himself, yet God has planned that his beloved Son will be redeemed. Your plan is sure, my Father, only yours. All other plans will fail, and I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that you have given me the only thought which leads me to salvation or to happiness. Mine alone will fail and lead me nowhere, but the thought you gave me promises to lead me home, because it holds your promise to your holy Son, or to your Son. holds a promise to your son. Okay, what is the ego? Let's sing our song, and we'll be about our Father's business today. Be sure to do your 2 longer meditations, morning and evening, and your hourly remembrance and thanksgiving, saying, I am affected only by my thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. What is the ego? What is the ego? What is the ego? The ego is idolatry, the sign of limited and separated self. Born in a body, doomed to suffer and to end its life in death. The ego is insane, in fear it stands beyond the everywhere. Apart from all, in separation from the infinite. The Son of God is egoless. The Son of God is egoless. What can he know of sorrow and of suffering when he lives in eternal joy? To know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts. Yet will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light? The altar to illusions, to the shrine of life itself. And peace will be restored to the holy mind. And peace will be restored to the holy mind, which God created as his Son, his dwelling place. His joy, his love, completely his, completely one with him. I am affected only by my thoughts. 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 And if you're one of those people that likes to follow along, I put the chords in the description below. And learn those little songs. When we get together, you can bring your instrument and your voice, and we'll play together in the kingdom of heaven, whether it's on this earth or in the one to come. Until tomorrow, remind yourself that you have the power to see holiness, beauty, perfection, innocence, love, the kingdom of heaven. It's just a choice away. Ask God for help to see it, and you'll get your miracle. I am affected only by my thoughts. And what was our word for peace again? Let's see if I can see. Wawaha. Wawaha. For the Lakota word for peace, wawaha. I am affected only by my thoughts. Wawaha.